This guy is about to find out why you don't mess with U.S. boats. This strike is just the latest example the U.S. is showing Iran and their proxies that they mean business. But this was more than just another kinetic strike. Rather, the F-35C pilots of the Black Knights just made history by blowing this launcher up. As soon as the pilots of the Black Knights get the all-clear to take off, they put their afterburner on and scream down the carrier's runway with nearly 40,000 pounds of thrust at roughly 170 miles per hour. And these aircraft need every bit of juice they have to get safely off deck because of what they're carrying. This is officially called the BLU-109 bomb, but you may know it as the Bunker Buster. This 2,000-pound bomb earns its name because it can penetrate up to 8 feet of reinforced concrete, 20 feet of hardened rock, and 100 feet of soil. It does this through the 1-inch thick steel casing that surrounds its body and the hardened steel penetrator. The Bunker Buster works by contacting the target with a huge force that sets off a time-delayed fuse between 25 and 100 milliseconds. This gives the bomb enough time to travel deep underground and explode, causing catastrophic damage. Each of the F-35s on this mission is carrying 2 of these Bunker Busters. But what are those bombs next to them? Known as GBU-31 Joint Direct Attack Munitions, each of these bombs are your standard Mark 84 general-purpose bombs with a twist. If you look at the ends of each bomb, you'll see a set of fins. These fins are part of the guidance kit that turns these dumb bombs into GPS-guided precision weapons capable of steering themselves onto a target once released. But why are they carrying 2 of these and not 4 Bunker Busters? After all, why wouldn't the U.S. want more bang for their buck? The reason for this is the target they're going after. You see, the Huthis have been firing a variety of anti-ship cruise missiles at military and commercial shipping since 2023. These missiles are often stored far away from the coast in mountains and inside caves. When the Huthis get firing data, they relay this to their missile units, who pull the weapons out, fire, and retreat back inside to safety. For months, the Huthis have been using these 2 mountaintops along the border of Marib and Al-Baida governorates. Between these 2 mountain bases, Houthi rebels ferry people and supplies across this bridge to keep the places well stocked for their continuous firing. The pilots have a mixed loadout because after the planes drop their Bunker Busters on the target, they'll come in for another pass to use their high-explosive JDAMs, which have almost 400 pounds more explosive than their BLU-109 counterparts. Because the Houthi bunkers are located more than 20 feet underground, they'll have to puncture this protective bubble before dropping their JDAMs on the target and detonating the missiles the Houthis think are safe. But while this sounds easy in theory, the breadth and depth of Houthi air defenses makes this anything but. Because of Iranian help, the Houthis have built up the most dangerous air defense network of any group in the world. In fact, the Houthis have thousands of short, medium, and long-range weapons that, if not taken seriously, can definitely take down an aircraft. Don't believe me? Over the past 5 years, the Houthis have shot down around 50 drones and aircraft, including a Saudi fighter jet and an American Reaper drone. So these guys are about that business, and here's how. For short-range targets, the Houthis have an abundance of man-portable systems like Soviet Ilga, hundreds of multi-barreled ZSU cannons, and Soviet SA-67 missiles with a 12-kilometer range. While these threats are certainly deadly for helicopters and very low-flying aircraft, they'd be as useless as a super soaker trying to hit jets at 30,000 feet. Because of this, the pilots of the Black Knights have to worry about the Houthis' arsenal of medium and long-range defenses. For their medium-range defenses, the Houthis mainly employ Iranian-provided SA-2 missiles. These missiles have a roughly 30-kilometer range and have a high fragmentation warhead for area denial. However, the pilot will have a metric ton of these fired at him to score a hit. Because of that, the pilots mostly fear the Houthis' long-range air defense weapons like the Fader-1, which is a modified S-75. With a range of roughly 100 kilometers and a maximum ceiling of 25 kilometers, this missile can wake up pilots and make them smell the roses. Although they don't have many of these, combining them with less capable weapons to confuse or distract pilots can be a very deadly combination. Thankfully for the Black Knights, their F-35s have some amazing technology to make even these missiles no better than high-priced paperweights. In aviation, the radar cross-section, or RCS, is how big of a return you look like on an enemy's radar. The bigger the return, the better the chance you have of getting deleted out of the sky. If you have a small return, you could just look like some clutter or a cloud, since radar screens don't display entirely clean screens no matter how well you tune them. And how does the big F-35C look on radar? According to publicly released data, the F-35C has an RCS of 0.0015 square meters. To put that in perspective, that's about the size of a golf ball. But that golf ball is at 30,000 feet traveling at Mach Jesus, so good luck even seeing, much less shooting that. The F-35 is able to obtain such a small RCS through some amazing technology ripped right out of a John Clancy novel. A thick layer of radar-absorbing paint coats the skin of every F-35. This reduces the radar cross-section by absorbing the energy output of a directed radar beam and returning very little of it. Besides the paint job, about 35% of the F-35 is made out of composite materials. These composites are much less reflective than steel. Think of it kind of like a mirror. Which one would reflect more light? A regular clear one or one painted black? It's the same principle. Other obvious stealth technology is the absence of sharp edges. If you look all around the aircraft, you'll find nary a hard edge. This was done on purpose to have rounded edges that don't reflect radar energy or a straight edge. All of these features combined are what makes the F-35C basically invisible on radar. But despite all these amazing features, none of them are really even needed, thanks to a new secret weapon joining the formation for the first time in naval history. If you were paying close attention when the formation was taking off, you might have seen what looked like an F-18. However, this is not another fighter jet taking off with the F-35s. Rather, this aircraft is an EA-18 Growler, and these Growlers are carrying a brand new system that will save these pilots' lives in the next few hours. If you look at this Growler, you'll see some long cylindrical objects underneath it. These objects are called jamming pods and are a core weapon when defeating enemy air defenses. For you see, the Growler is not equipped with bunker busters and JDAMs. Rather, it carries these AGM-88 high-speed anti-radiation missiles on its wings. These specially designed missiles are meant to lock onto an enemy air search radar and blow it to smithereens. This helps clear the path for the fighters to make it to the target area safely. But thanks to this new system, the Growlers no longer have to fire a shot in anger. Known as the AN/ALQ-249 Next Generation Jammer, this system is a revolutionary weapon that helps block any swing the Houthis might take at the F-35s. It is light years better than its older brother, the AN/ALW-99 jamming pod. Whenever a radar sends out energy, the number of wavelengths per second it sends out is called its frequency. The more wavelengths that go out, the higher the frequency and the more data that comes back. This increases the fidelity of the return and gives more accurate data than a lower frequency radar. Because anti-air radars want to maximize range and accuracy, most of them operate in the medium frequency band of around 1 to 6 GHz, which just happens to be the band the Next Generation Jammer operates in. This is a marked improvement over the AN/ALQ-99 since the jammer operates in more frequencies. More frequencies mean more enemy radars are susceptible to it. And once the jammer gets a lock on the enemy radar, it can fry it by putting out 250 kilowatt bursts. To put that into perspective, That means the next-gen jammer can put out as much energy as your house consumes in a week in a single burst into the enemy radar. This is 10 times the power output of the AN/ALG-99 and is a key reason that even radars that change frequencies will get toasted. After years of development, the Navy finally had its mid-band version ready for deployment, and this is what the Growlers carried on their wings on that mission that day. So, how did all this shiny new weaponry perform? After taking off from the carrier, the two Growlers began racing towards the Yemen coast. Along the way, their next-gen jammers constantly scanned for Houthi air defense radars. To protect the formation of F-35s, any Houthi radars they found had to be destroyed, and they did. According to media reports, the Growlers engaged Houthi radar sites and destroyed them with the next-gen jammer. The number of radar sites destroyed and the types taken out were not disclosed, but we know at least one unlucky team illuminated their radars while the Growlers were on the prowl. Now totally blind, the Houthis on the mountain base carried on blissfully unaware that in a matter of minutes, the U.S. Marine Corps would be there to shake things up a bit. Going perfectly to plan, the first F-35s dropped their first bunker busters when they were several miles away from the target. In one successive blast after another, each bunker buster fell into the crater of the last one, penetrating deeper and deeper into the mountain with each strike. As Houthi fighters began scrambling for cover, the F-35s came in for round two and hit them with a stone-cold stunner. More than 16,000 pounds of JDAMs rained down on the mountaintops. Locals later reported that at least 7 large explosions, with several secondary detonations occurring as the anti-ship missiles went off. When it was all said and done, Houthi media reported that the tops of both mountains had literally been taken clean off. But what about the Marine fighter pilots of the Black Knights? Thanks to the F-35's exceptional stealth capabilities combined with the effects of the next-generation jammer, all the pilots made it back home safely. In fact, they were back just in time to watch their handiwork on CCTV while chowing down on pizza and wings, any sailor's Saturday favorite, while underway. Bye for now.